Okay, so hello everybody. Let's look at ratio, and I'll try my best to explain ratio. We're going to start from very simple questions to complex questions so that the idea of ratio will not be a problem. So, if a child is struggling with ratio, just get them to watch these videos, and they might find it helpful. So, the first thing we are going to be looking at is what is ratio. Ratio is comparing. Now, very, very important, ratio is not the number you are looking for. Ratio is only giving you a clue on how the number looks like. Ratio is not the number you're looking for. If I tell you now that there are 3 boys for every 4 girls you count, and you go to the class, and you enter the class and you find out that there are 12 boys, would you say I've lied to you? Not really, right? I didn't tell you that there are 3 boys. I said there are 3 boys for every 4 girls you count. In other words, if you have 12 boys, you group them 3 3 3 3, and you group the girls 4 4 4 4. There's going to tell you how many amount of girls you should be having. So what I'm telling you is, when you count 3 boys, count 4 girls, count 3 boys, count 4 girls. So that's basically ratio. Ratio is giving you a clue to how to separate them. Okay, so that's what ratio is, comparing, how you compare things. And if you understand that, you will not confuse these numbers here separated by this column and these numbers here, right? So now what you should be asking yourself is, these 3 happened how many times? How many times was it counted? For 3 to get to 12, it was counted 4 times. That means you're going to count these 4 times. Now, the number of times you count something is usually called the multiplier or the scalar. The multiplier or the scalar. So I'm going to be using S to always represent our scalar or our multiplier. So say 3 times 3 appeared how many times to give us 12? Okay, so 3 appeared how many times to give us 12? 3 appeared 4 times. So we know that 3 appeared 4 times. So we are going to do that same thing to say 4 should appear 4 times to give us the number of girls. So we just do the same thing. 4 should appear 4 times to give us the number of girls, and the number of girls should be 16. So there are 16 girls. Now that makes sense. If there are 12 girls, there should be, so if you separate them 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 3 to 4, you discover that for every 4 boys you count, you are going to have 3 girls, right? Good. Now the same idea we can use in actually making things. Now, for example, they said if you're mixing something, make sure that for every 2 cups of milk you put, make sure you put 5 cups of flour. 2 cups of milk, 5 cups of flour. Okay, so now here is the problem. Oh, sorry. Here is the problem. They didn't tell you that when you're baking, you should use only 2 cups of milk. So it doesn't give you the actual value. Again, it gives you the comparison. So if you're going to make something that is going to be large for an audience, that means you will have to scale it or multiply it. That's why it's a multiplier. So you're going to ask yourself, oh, okay, so I am now using 10 cups of flour. 10 cups of flour. So how many cups of milk should I have? That means I have scaled these 5 cups and doubled it. In other words, I'm going to scale the milk and also double it, right? Very good. So that's the same thing. So in other words, for you to change your ratio to your value, to the real thing, you have to scale it. That's the idea. So it's very simple. Just scale it. And sometimes it's just very simple. What I usually tell my students to do is put an S here. S means scale. Okay, so 2 scaled, 5 scaled is the actual value. So 5 scaled give us 5 scaled give us what is it called now? 10. So if 5 scaled give us 10, then the scaling number should be what? 2. So that's what we are multiplying with. We scaled it twice, double. Okay, so in other words, we are going to scale 2. So we'll say 2 times 2. 2 times 2. When we scale that, that gives us what? 4. So in other words, if I'm going to use 10 cups of flour, I should be using 4 cups of milk to make that ratio work. Now, if I do it, I'm going to actually get the same taste as if I used 2 cups and 2 cups of milk and 5 cups of flour. It's the same thing. Okay, so basically ratio tells us how to compare things, right? That's why you see ratio goes alongside with proportion. Okay, proportion has to do with measurement. How many portion of this versus how many portion of this. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the ratio that will determine what proportion you're going to actually use.